And starting the stream there, I think that should be fine. Can you say... Oh, wait, hang on. It says it's, registering.
Registering.
Yep.
Am I registered?
I think we're going now. It says we're live. Vinny, if you say hello, that might help.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everybody. I'm here today with, Vinny. That's, Shadow's voice actor. So if you guys can hear him,
Hello.
let me know.
Wow. Hey, everybody. It's me, your favorite neighborhood shadow guy.
Alright, guys, let me know if you can hear, Vinny, because he's talking at the moment, like, with me, but right now everybody's just shouting hello. It's like I'm getting, like, I'm a top trash can saying hello, beautiful people, but I'm not exactly sure if you guys can hear him yet. Somebody needs to tell
Hi,
me,
guys.
can you hear Vinny, because he's talking right now.
You hear me?
Alright, I know they... Okay, they say they can hear
hey,
you. Cool.
Shadow. Woo!
Alright,
From.
good. Now we have confirmation that people can actually hear you, so we're good. Are you looking Are you looking at the chat too, Vinny?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, cool. That's good stuff. Alright, good. Okay, well, hello everybody. Good, happy Friday. Today I've got, Vinny with me, the voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog. He just, happened to not have work, so he will be joining me today while I color a picture of Blaze. I'm gonna say, like, a very quick shout out, I think, to, like, whoever, like, I can see from now, like, a quick hello to, Celestial Sky and Sonic Caddy and Kika133, Valentine Heartwing, Araya Davis, Andre Littlejohn, Susie Ortega, The Best There Is Plays, Lena Plays, Cosmic Aurora, Amber the Wolf, Saturn537, Sunset Raven, Shinx Games, Mephilis 2099, Ultimate Sonic, Immortal Phoenix, The Plush Mario Bros. / Sonic the Plush Hog, Sonic Shadow 870. Whoop, and now we've got like a whole bunch of people all over the place, so we're going to go ahead and do like maybe 5 more, and then I need to get going because I've got a lot of Blaze to color. I see Alicia Mendez, Riverfrog YT, Immortal Phoenix, Aeon Hero 101, and 101 Super Chow. Hello everybody! Good morning. Once again, there's, I think there's just 64 of you guys at the moment, and Vinny is here with me this morning. He's the voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog. I said that a few times, but some of you guys are still just now coming in. So, hello, Vinny!
Hello.
Yay!
Hey, Sunset Raven says, Shadow, tell us your favorite Tic Tac. I don't know if I'm allowed to speak for Shadow, but I believe his favorite Tic Tac would probably be the orange one.
I'm not even sure what kinds of Tic Tacs there are. Like, what's available? I know there's like the mint kind, and then like nothing else.
I think there's a green mint, there's a white mint, and an orange one.
Do they have like fruit flavors or?
I believe the orange one is like the fruit orange. I think.
Oh, good. That's the orange one.
Yeah, it's literally the color orange and the flavor orange.
Oh, very nice. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to label Blaze here. Oh, I just realized I didn't put on any music today. I probably should have done that. JJ Spark XX said there is grape purple. And
Really?
Super Llama screamed, Vinny! And J-Girl J-Heart said there's a banana Tic Tac. Apparently there
banana Tic Tac. Aren't Tic Tacs like the whole point of a Tic Tac is to like freshen your breath, right? I don't understand how like a fruity flavor would do that.
Gosh, I'm not sure. I think maybe this... I don't know. Like, do I need to... I guess we're maybe alright, like, without the music for now, because at least everybody can hear us fine. That's good. Oh, I just caught a question right there. Mint does weird stuff. YT asked, at what age did you start drawing and what was your inspiration? Well, for me, I have always drawn, I guess, like as long as I can remember. Like when I was like super little and I barely knew like how to draw like a straight line. I was like, I was always drawing like little characters. I showed you guys on like my first or second stream, there was like this little derpy thing I used to draw called like Cat Hat. Like it was like this and it had a bunch of legs. Like I started drawing young enough to where this was like my main character guy. His name was Cat Hat and he had great adventures and he had a sidekick which was a mouse and he was just like this circle with like a really long like tail on it and the tail would be like super long. I don't know. I drew like that long ago, but inspiration-wise, I'm not sure. Just whatever I saw that was kind of neat. Like, I can't really remember. Like, I had some like old like anime drawing books I think that helped. That's where all like the crazy hair I draw comes from, I think. It was from those drawing books back in the day. Do you draw, Vinny?
I do draw. Actually, last night I did a painting for one of my friends from work. We didn't get him a Christmas gift this year, and so me and a couple other coworkers decided he really loves Star Wars. So we took an old thrift store painting, and I painted like the Death Star coming through the clouds, and Darth Vader's like watering some plants. And there's like an X-wing flying by.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit sick at the moment. Oh, what was that? I heard a strange sound from somewhere behind me, but there's nothing here.
Batman.
Jason366 Guerrero was asking, hey Sonic Song, tell him how has he been from working for your channel? I think that's directed to you, Vinny. How have you been working for the channel?
Well, I love working for the channel. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially when we get to do Ask the Sonic Heroes episodes. It's really fun to get everybody on board, and then it's always a really wacky sort of experience when we all get together and record. It always goes on for longer than I think it does. I think we've been in there for like 10 minutes and it's been 3 hours. And we've just like in between takes we'll start talking about weird stuff and it's always fun.
Yeah, I think usually we like I don't know exactly how long each episode ends up being. It's usually the old ones where you could do it in like, I could cut it down to like 20 minutes. But we just got so comfortable with each other that the characters would just start, like, chatting about stuff, like, kind of relating to the questions, and sometimes off on tangents, so, like, we would be in the, in the actual interview for, like, 2 hours for, like, a 30-minute video. I'm like, my gosh, we talk too much. Toon Freak 870 said, Sonic Song, will you do a preview of Blaze's voice? That might be a little bit hard today. You guys might have heard me coughing. I have not been healthy this week. I've got a cough and a sore throat. But if I were to try to do her voice while still not feeling well, I can kind of do it. It sounds all right, but I think she sounds sick too. There we go.
Hearing a Sonic character cough is always kind of funny to me.
Amber the Wolf asked who is Blaze's voice. I am Blaze's voice on the SonicSong182 channel, so that'd be me. Thank you for Ace Assassin was saying feel better to Blaze, and thank you. Common Rider Crimson said hope you're feeling better soon. Alright, so there's a few of us that they're saying feel better for. Andrew Andino said, hey Vinny, do you play the Shadow the Hedgehog game?
I got that game at launch. That was the first Sonic game I think ever that I bought at launch. I was really excited for it, but then again, I think I was 12, maybe a little older when that came out. And it was, that age of my life where everything was edgy and cool. And I thought I really liked Shadow when I first was introduced to him because I was like, oh, he's like Sonic, but he's dark and brooding, and that's interesting. And so I got really into the character. And so when I saw that he was going to have his own game, I was really excited. And then when I saw the box art and he had like a gun and whatnot, I was like, well, this is weird, but why not? And I played through that game a lot when it came out. I got all 10 endings really quick.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you cut out or not.
I really liked the fact that you could kind of do what you wanted with Shadow, because I always wanted him to be like not necessarily evil, but I always wanted him to like be bros with Dr. Robotnik, and that game didn't really give you that option. It's kind of funny. You can be on Eggman's team for the last mission, but then you end up fighting him. Like Eggman's just like, oh, forget it, we're enemies now, and then you fight. But yeah, I did play it a lot. It's not a great game, but I did play it.
When like for me, I was a classic fan. I'm a little bit older than Vinny is, but so I grew up with just like the Sega Genesis games, and then like up until I was 10 years old, and then I moved, and so I couldn't find like the Sonic comics anymore that I used to read those in the Knuckles comics all the time. And like I didn't have like the new game system. Like I guess it was the Dreamcast that Sonic's games were coming out on, so I didn't get to play like any of his like new gen stuff. And so when I first saw the Shadow the Hedgehog game being like advertised, that was coming from the perspective of someone who had only played like Sonic 3 and Knuckles up to that point. And I was like, what is this? Why is there like emo Sonic with a gun? I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw in my life, and it did not appeal to me at the time that it came out. But later on, Ames actually started getting the more modern Sonic games, and she was playing through them. I still hadn't played them, but from when I was watching her play, the characters grew on me a lot more than they had when I first saw. Because my very first introduction to Shadow, I missed all of the Sonic Adventure stuff where he was like, he was all cool and had a storyline. The first thing I ever saw of him was that box art with him holding a gun, and I didn't even know who he was, and I was like, what is that?
That'd be such a jarring transition.
It was. I mean, the edgiest thing about the series where I had left off was like Knuckles like punching Sonic and knocking the emeralds away from him or something, or like when he gets electrocuted by Eggman in like that one stage in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That was like video game edgy to me, and then here comes the 2000s. There's a Shadow with a gun and a motorcycle. Oh my goodness. By the way, Vinny, if you're looking at the chat, you can go ahead and if you see a question comes up that you think you can answer, if you happen to notice one, you can read that out and try to answer.
I'm gonna try and not butcher anyone's names here. Joanne Umpier, she's asking me what my favorite Sonic character is and why. That kind of fluctuates for me. I'm tempted to say Eggman because I think he's funny, and it's interesting to see when he's like really dedicated to a cause, and he's like almost scary with how evil he is, and then at the same time you can juxtapose that with the bumbling nature of this rotund egg-shaped scientist. I think that's really fun. I was talking to Nux about this the other night. Big the Cat is one of my favorite Sonic characters because you can't do a lot with the characters. So when I see someone like do a fan video, like I think this was cut out of our last episode, but we mentioned that Big the Cat was skiing, and I thought that I think that's funny to even like imagine the character doing that.
Yeah, we did briefly mention what Amy and Cream and Big were doing when we were recording for episode 14, because we knew that Ames was going to pop in for a question near the end, and so I was like, well, where are they? Rouge is calling her from, like, where? And I had drawn the picture the, week before of the background. I think you guys were, some of you guys were there for the stream where I drew that. But, I drew her outside, so I'm like, she must be, skiing with, Kareem and Big. And it was mentioned, in in the recording when we were recording for episode 14, and so that's where that information's coming from. You can look for another one, Vinny. I'm gonna color some pictures.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear you for about half a minute.
Oh, goodness. Well, I was just talking about that skiing thing some more, but you can pick another question. Oh, real quick, Sunset_Raven said, what's this picture of Blaze for? This is her Ask the Sonic Heroes picture, because all of the characters need new artwork. And so I'm trying to quickly work through everybody. This is actually the second time I drew Blaze. The first time I drew her, I was not satisfied. She didn't look very good. I mean, like, this is the second redrawing for, like, her new art that I've been doing. Because the same day that I drew Silver, I also drew Blaze, but I didn't like how she looked, so I tried her again, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, and so now she actually looks good, so this is the one I decided to color. By the way, we had, like, a Twitter vote for, who you guys wanted me to color today. Like, the different social medias I've got have, like, different little things that go, like, on them sometimes, and Twitter's got this polling option, and so for today I've drawn like a bunch of characters, but I could have drawn and I could have colored either Blaze, Marine, Omega, or Dr. Eggman, and the votes with 65% clearly said you guys wanted Blaze today, and so that's who I rolled with. Hang on, where am I? Here I am. Okay.
There you are.
There I am.
Rosie Sievers says, hey, Vinny, nice to meet you. It's also nice to meet you, Rosie. What's your favorite part of playing Shadow? I think my favorite part of playing Shadow, especially with what we're doing with Ask the Sonic Heroes, is that I'm more free to do what I want with the character. I'm not constricted to what has happened in the games or what's currently happening in the games. So if I want to make Shadow be an Instagram mogul, I can totally do that. And I think it's so much fun to just play with an arrogant, edgy hedgehog. I think that's fun.
He's like, Shadow is clearly like the troll of Ask the Sonic Heroes. he's always like, I don't know, he's just always joking about something. Like, right out the gate, like, first episode he was in, he's like, I'm dating Megan Fox, and like, no one ever really knew if it was true. Like, all the characters were like, are you really dating? He's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely dating Megan Fox. And, like, for none of the characters was that ever exactly outlined, whether that was true or not. Now he's got, like, this Instagram where he's all popular, and everyone's like, wait, what? Shadow is, the Ask the Sonic Heroes troll. Stop! No, I'm on the stream. I can't cough like this.
Rosie followed that up by asking if I have a YouTube channel, and yes, I do. It's Super Nintendo 64. I guess I could spell that out for you. I'll put it in the chat box, actually. It'll say my name, and then I will have typed my name.
Hooray! Yeah,
but,
there it is, everybody, right there.
I used to post on it a little more frequently. There's a series I did on there called, it's a weird name. I always called it something different when I was referring to it vocally than what it's written as. I think it's called Sonic: A Chronological History, where I kind of try to add story to the classic games. So that's kind of the big thing on my channel. But aside from that, I'm trying to remember what kind of more recent Shadow content I've done on there. I don't think I have done anything with Shadow for a while. There's a couple of Batman videos on there. I'm a really big Batman fan, so. For some reason, every time I look up, I keep seeing this question. I'm a top trash can. X3 said, does Shadow like fried chicken? Like, I keep seeing, like, chicken? But yeah, do you think Shadow likes fried chicken, Vinny? Well, fried chicken is one of my favorite dinner plates. It's difficult to make. If you ever try to make it in the oven, that doesn't work quite as well as in a deep fryer. But It is pretty tasty. I do enjoy it quite a bit.
Thanks, Shadow. Oh no. Plushy Child was asking, did either of you play Sonic Chronicles?
Yeah, I played through Sonic Chronicles. That was another game I think I got at launch. I remember being really excited about it because it was, done by BioWare, who did a bunch of great RPGs beforehand. And I picked it up and I played through it, and I don't think I've touched it since my initial playthrough because it doesn't have a whole lot of replayability for me. The story's it's interesting. I hardly remember it now, but it was interesting. I remember being pretty enthralled, but I think that was also because I had the chance to put Shadow the Hedgehog and Big the Cat on a team. That goes back to me thinking Big the Cat doing things outside of finding Froggy is hilarious. But I remember being disappointed, especially with the soundtrack.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna ask you that. Was that for real? Is that
Yes.
really the music they used?
It's so bad. It is literally.
It sounded like the scratch tracks they put in just to for the moment until we have the real music, and then they left it in because I don't even know why, but that's the worst music I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah. That's literally like how it sounds like. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's I never got to play it myself. I think Ames got to play it, but the concept of it was really exciting to me because I love RPGs. Those are my favorite kinds of games, really. And it was an RPG, you could have different Sonic characters in an RPG based battle, so you could build your team. And there was a storyline to go through. It sounded really cool, but I don't remember what it came out on. Was it on the DS, Vinny?
It was on the regular DS, yeah.
All right, I could have owned that one. I can't afford to buy games and stuff. But it's one that I could have played. But then I watched some of the gameplay on YouTube, and I heard that music. I was like, what is this?
it's trash, yeah. And it's funny because some of it is remixes of Genesis songs. And I remember when they were advertising the game, they were like, yeah, we put some really cool remixes in here. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. And then you hear Doomsday Zone, and it's like, and it's so bad.
Oh my gosh. That is really horrifying, dude.
Dapper Dude is asking me what other kinds of video games I play besides... I play Street Fighter a lot. I'm terrible at it. I'm really, really bad at it, but I think it's fun. Also... the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games, are probably some of my favorite games of all time. Smash Bros, a lot of Nintendo games. But yeah, I think that's kind of about it. I don't play video games nearly as much as I used to. I don't have as much free time, but...
Yeah, I don't, when I was younger, I played more games. I've never really played very often. My sister is definitely, the gamer out of the two of us. But, the only game that I really play these days, or have, in years, has been, Pokemon Heart Gold, because I love that game, and I just kind of keep playing it. Right now, I'm trying to, hatch a shiny Poochyena. So I've been, just, hatching eggs every once in a while when I've got, the spare time to do so. Usually it's if I'm doing something I need to watch or listen to something, but my hands are still free, so I'll just hatch some Poochyena eggs. And that's really all I've played. Although the other day I did pick up Sonic Advance 3 on my DS to play that one because it's been a while and I really like that game. I've got one Chaos Emerald I still need to get. It's the only thing that I haven't gotten in the game so far. So just that one Chaos Emerald so I can get the final ending. But geez, that last thing is hard.
Looks like chat is saying we died in the stream.
Sometimes...
We're still it's still stuck on Doomsday Zone is what Joseph Renna just said.
They're saying Sunset Raven says Vinny's voice was too OP. It says that it's going to be lagging horrendously for oh gosh,
Great.
It's because the oh my gosh, it's because of the horrifying little boop, 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 boop. sorry,
the lag.
guys. Can you hear us again yet? Because it's saying like the stream health is like really bad. Some people are saying they can start to hear it. Okay, good.
Okay, cool, good.
So I don't know what y'all missed. Oh my gosh. For a lot of people, it seems to be coming back. I think like my internet is probably struggling a little bit, even though I like turned Skype off and all that. So yeah, that's another reason to keep an eye on the chat here and there, because I never know when we're having some kind of weird technical difficulty. Like half the time when I do have the music on, like I'm playing it like way too loud. Everyone's like, "We can't hear you." I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Sunset Raven. I will never sing again.
Boop-be-doo, boop.
Sing again.
No. Lauren Logs is asking Vinny, why does Shadow hate Silver so much? I heard a bloop, though, which I think means that... Are you still there, Vinny? Alright, I heard like a weird bloop, and so I think that means we might have lost Vinny for a moment, so he might be back. Apparently, it is a mystery. Let me check about how the stream health is doing. Like, am I still on, or I am... Yeah, we good here.
It goes.
Whoa, okay. Alright, we're back.
Whoa. That sounded like you just came in from the future. That was pretty tight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we froze, a little bit.
Alright. This time for real, I will never sing again.
Yeah, notice how it was right when we started to make those cursed sounds again.
Yeah.
Darth Lord 1997 said, "See, every time you sing Sonic Chronicles, it kills the stream." All right, so no more music from Sonic Chronicles. It's the cursed soundtrack. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we seem to be having lots of like technical difficulties right now. It says that the stream is fine, but yeah, this is what happens when my staff's not here to help me run things. I don't know how this all works. Idea Maker 6161 was asking if the stream has been having these kinds of problems lately. Sometimes, but I don't know, I might be using like too much CPU or whatever at the moment. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but like it might be strained a little bit. But I don't know. At some point, I'm gonna try to fix some things up some more so the streaming will go a little smoother. Because I've got like a really old computer and like old equipment, and so my staff might be able to help me like figure out how to make it better in the future. Sarah Flame is asking what inspired you to do Ask the Sonic Heroes. It was just because we had like a huge ensemble cast from our plushie films. It was like, we had most of the characters that were current in the Sonic series, like, actively, like, going on, like, adventures in our other movies and things. And, because I had such, like, a big cast already, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did, like, an interview show? Because we have, like, basically everybody that we would need. And so the idea just came from, like, already happening to have, like, such a big cast. That's, I guess that's what I would say for that. And do we still have you, Vinny?
Yes, yeah, I'm still here, sorry.
Alright, I think there's, like, your microphone, I, like, can't hear, like, any feedback, so I have, like, no idea when you're there or not.
Oh.
Sorry for all the sniffling.
Don't sniffle.
Amber the Wolf asked, what was that drill thing that you had? The unknown
that was
rotary device.
that was legitimately a drill. Every time I go back and watch that episode, I was like, what? I don't remember why it was on my desk, but it was on my desk for that whole recording session, and I would just sort of pick it up, and I was like, this kind of helps me channel the character a little bit. It feels like I'm holding, a weapon. So, and then I think I accidentally pressed it the first time, and then I was just like, oh, we'll just make this into a thing.
The unknown rotary device. It was henceforth remembered forever.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that was legitimately a power drill. I don't know what I might have been using it for, or why it was on my desk, but it was there.
Twilight Cosmos, I think maybe that's a relevant question, said, I don't want to be rude, but how did you guys end up doing another Ask the Sonic Hero so much later from the last one? What reminded you of it? I think a lot of people missed that I was away for university, and, I think partly it was my fault because I just didn't have time to, go back and make, updates here and there so that you guys still knew that's what was going on. But I went away to a university for 4 years, and so I didn't have time to like do any online stuff. Like I was very 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 busy with school. Like sometimes I was like spending the night in the school library just to get all of my work done. So I just poured all of my focus into that, and then I graduated this year, so now I'm back. So that's why it took so long to like between episodes. It was because I like went away to college, like completely away, and then I came back, and then I'm like, okay, things are still very busy. I've got like 2 jobs. I'm like, all right, but somehow I need to figure out how to make this work because I really always had wanted to come back, and so well here we are. And it was just very fortunate that the majority, if not the entire original voice acting team, wanted to come back. I guess for as a relevant question, Vinny, what was that like coming back, like out of nowhere, out of 4 years, me just popping up like, "Hey, Vinny, you want
Oh,
to
it was
come act
great.
again?"
Because I had really missed doing it, and I it was awesome. It was just the perfect timing too, I think. Because I've been bored. I've been wondering what to do with my channel. I've got a couple of projects I guess I'm working on, but I hadn't really been doing anything actively video wise. So it was very refreshing, and I felt great. Like even that whole week after, it felt like I had just taken like the longest bath, and I was just like completely rejuvenated. It was great.
Woohoo! That's good stuff. And then I don't know, it's like it's interesting, like the big time skip from the last episode we recorded to the current one because like 4 years is a long time. So like a lot of stuff happened. It almost feels like that time passed a bit with the characters too because like 4 years later, Shadow's like, yeah, I've got this Instagram. So it's like, what have you been doing with your life? He's like, internet. I'm sorry. Oh gosh.
Lauren Logs is asking me why Shadow hates Silver so much. I don't know. I think I just wanted someone for Shadow to pick on, and in that particular episode, it ended up being Silver, and then I just carried it on as a running gag. Um, I don't really even have a whole lot personally against Silver. I think I think he's a fine character. It might just be because he kind of reminds me of Sonic 06, and I just try to distance myself from that as much as possible. So that might be it. I don't know. It's just Shadow always needs a victim, and Silver is just the victim.
Oh, poor Silver. I've like weirdly enough, like I didn't go through that whole situation of really massively looking forward to Sonic 06, like watching the previews and following it along and being like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool, only to be like met with the crushing disappointment I hear was the case at the time because the game was glitchy, it wasn't what anybody expected, but I missed all of that. The first time I ever saw Silver and Blaze in my whole life was, Ames and I were playing the party mode on Sonic and the Secret Rings, and we were trying to unlock the characters. I'm like, alright, Rouge is gonna be the next one! Rouge is gonna be the next— Who is that?! And there's just like Silver and Blaze, I'm like, those are the weirdest looking characters I ever saw in my life, who are they? But
Oh
then,
yeah.
like, that was the first time I saw them, and then from my experiences with Sonic 06, I just watched the cutscenes, and I liked it. I thought Silver was cute as a button. And I played Sonic Rush and Sonic Rush Adventure after that point, and I thought Blaze was really, really cool. And so I didn't have that same problem, I guess, with Sonic 06 that a lot of other fans did who had been in that anticipating stage. And also, I never actually played the game, so I didn't have to suffer the same way. I only ever played the multiplayer mode, again with Ames. She's the one who played the game, and I think she liked it well enough. but the only character I could even play the multiplayer in was Silver, because Shadow and Sonic move so fast, and I'm not really good at 3D games. I came from, like, Sega Genesis 2D platformers. That's the kind of games that I play. Or, like, RPGs, where the most complicated thing I guess I did was, like, Kingdom Hearts, where you did move around in, like, a 3D space. But you weren't, like, falling off of cliffs all the time. So Sonic and Shadow would just, like, bolt off and fly off a cliff with me screaming in the background. And meanwhile, Silver, he just kind of jogs along. And I'm like, okay, this character moves at a pace that I can work with. And if I fall off of something, he can use his psychokinesis to fly himself back to safety. And I did accidentally psychokinesis Shadow into the wall repeatedly. I didn't mean to. That's just who my sister was playing as, and whenever I would use my psychokinesis, it would capture her, so what was I gonna do? And so I'd throw her into walls, and she was like, stop killing me!
Well, I guess I can't hate Sonic 06 too much. It brought me and my best friend together. I had met him at a birthday party when we were pretty young, and I was playing Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time, and I was stuck on Crazy Gadget, and I was talking to somebody at the birthday party about it, and then because it was like a friend I had from preschool that I hadn't seen since preschool. He was like, "Come to my birthday party," so I was just there with him and like a bunch of people I'd never met. And granted, this was like fourth, fifth grade or something. And so I was in there, and I was talking to Nick, the guy who I was there for his birthday party. I was like, I'm playing Sonic Adventure 2. I've never really like gotten to play like a 3D Sonic game. This is weird, and I'm stuck. And then he was like, well, Garrett loves Sonic Adventure 2. So I talked to this guy I'd never met before about Sonic Adventure 2. And then a few years pass. I've never seen him ever again. And then in middle school, I get reintroduced to him because I was talking about Sonic 06, and somebody was like, well, Garrett's getting Sonic 06 at launch. And I was like, what? And then Garrett and I played through it together at launch, and we got sad together.
Oh, gosh.
And hilariously enough, that's like, our friendship has continued to like, we get hyped for something, and then we get disappointed by it. Like, he's a huge Superman fan, and I'm a huge Batman fan. And so we were really excited with the concept of Batman versus Superman, and then we went and saw the movie together, and we were so sad.
Oh, oh no. Sorry for all the sniffles.
Oh yeah, and Aeon Hero 101 says you can't hate the soundtrack of Sonic 06. You really can't. It's great. I do love the soundtrack.
Yeah, it did have like a really very nice soundtrack, very pretty.
And continuing off of that, Darth Lord 1997 is asking us what Sonic game has the best soundtrack. Which is hard for me to say. But if I had to choose just one, I think I would say Sonic CD, the Japanese soundtrack for Sonic CD. That's
for me, I'm not sure exactly how I would answer that question. I just kind of enjoy the music in general, just overall. What is going on? Oh, like I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I could just, like, I don't know, Sonic Colors, I think. I really liked the soundtrack for that. It was very cute, very interesting, and I love, like, space sounds. And so it had, like, there's kind of, like, a thing people do musically when they're, you know, doing, like, space music, and I just love the way that stuff sounds. So I guess right now, to say off the top of my head, I'd say Sonic Colors if I, like, were not to pick the nostalgia of the original Genesis games.
Yeah, that's actually a really good choice, because now I want to listen to it.
Let's see. Ben1026 asked, when is the next video? I'm not sure, but we're working on trying to get a Team Rose interview going. Some of you guys might have noticed already that we've got the questions collecting video out for Team Rose. That's already got 3,000 comments on it. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly when the next video will be. I've got that and then like one other thing in the works right now. And I would like to do another Sonic Chefs. I have a couple of ideas, but I just haven't gotten to work on it just yet.
Bunny Wunny Sweetie Weedy is asking us if we read comics. She loves to read them. He or she, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I can't assume gender based off of a YouTube name. But I read a lot of comics, and I am currently subscribed to the Sonic comics. I used to read them a lot more than I do now. I've been reading the Mega Drive stuff, and actually, um, I read a part of the current story, but for whatever reason, the shipment for Archie didn't come into my comic shop a few months ago, so I'm not up to date with the current storyline. I'm missing the first part of it. So, and that being said, I didn't read a whole lot of the Sonic Unleashed arc, although I own it. I haven't read all of it because I have a lot of comics that I read, so I don't exactly get to the Sonic ones first.
Have you been reading the Sonic comics since they did that reboot of them?
Yeah,
Like, what's going on with that? Like, I've been hearing about it, but I don't follow the comics anymore. I did when I was 10 years old. That was, like, before even characters like Mina and, like, Scourge showed up. Like, I used to read them a long time ago before all that. But what's going on with that right now?
Well, essentially with that, the one of the oldest writers for the book, his name was Ken Penders, and
I remember Ken Penders.
he left, and when he left, he decided that he owned the rights to all of those characters, so that the current writer couldn't use those characters anymore, or else he was going to take action in court.
I'm not sure how that works out. Like, if you're hired to do, like, an official comic for people who, like, it seems like the comic company would have owned the characters and not the individual writer, but then maybe he had, like, a better contract than that. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. It is very odd, but they couldn't quite reach a settlement that would allow them to continue to use the characters. He didn't want to give them up. So what they did was they did a soft reboot, and so how they did it was Eggman set off what's called the Genesis Wave. He had done it a couple of times earlier in the book, and I'm sorry, I might be butchering this. There's probably a Sonic comic aficionado that that is going to correct me in here. But essentially what happened is the Genesis Wave kind of sent like a ripple through time that just very minorly changed things so that they're more like the video games than they were initially. So say like Dr. Robotnik, he doesn't look like how he did in the first 50 issues of the book. He now looks like classic Eggman, which is something I prefer. But honestly, I think that it's all for the best. The character of Scourge, though, was kind of a cool character. I did enjoy reading him, but then again, I think it's probably been since like 2010 since I read a story with Scourge in it. So
the only thing I really like, I know who Scourge is. I've seen him enough around the fandom to know who he is. But when I read the comics, like way back in the day, it was in the 90s. The characters went to an alternate universe that had evil versions of themselves, where like Robotnik was like the good guy trying to save the world in that one, and then there was like the anti-freedom fighters, and he was just this like Scourge was just regular Sonic, but with like sunglasses and a black leather jacket, and like evil, and so there was evil Sonic, and that's like, I knew who Scourge was when he was that guy, and then later there was that thing that happened to him where he became the other Scourge, but that was like after I had stopped reading. I think I would have kept reading them, but when I moved, there were like no comic shops where I moved to, and I was like 10, so I couldn't find them anymore.
That was essentially when I started reading them.
I see.
Hardcore anyway was around when Evil Sonic became Scourge. Because I think I jumped on to the Archie comics because I saw, I think it was probably like issue like 140 or something like that, and it was like the Return of Shadow, and I remember the cover distinctly because it was Sonic and Tails running, and they're like looking up into the sky like super scared, and Shadow is like cast over them, and I was like, oh yeah, Shadow's the best. So I picked it up, and then every month after that, I would go back to we had a local grocery store that sold the comics, and
Nice.
so that's where I went in.
And I was lucky when I lived up in Alaska because like my grandma, like she lived like she had like there was an apartment complex that was above like a group of stores, and downstairs from grandma's house was the comic store. So I just had to like whenever there was like new Sonic comics in, I just had to like walk downstairs and go get it. Lucky. A comment about the comics Shivand 8. Ooh boy, let's go back up. I highlighted that one luckily. Or wait. Uh-oh, it's gone. It's gone. It like surged up like a lot. Well,
Oh yeah, I've got it right here.
okay.
He says the reboot wasn't just about Penders, although he was the major catalyst. After it happened, Sega laid down a whole bunch of mandates on what Archie could do with their official characters, and that makes sense. It was always kind of weird that Sonic was paired with an official fan character, and I think what they're doing with that now is sort of making it a less of a romantic interest and more of just a kind of friendly thing.
Oh yeah, well, they did use some of that stuff like in the cartoon, and I guess it's helpful in some ways to have the comics and the games reflect each other a little more closely. But I don't have as much of a perspective on that because back in the day when I read the comics, like Sonic games didn't have these big storylines and character relationships. Like there wasn't even like an Amy Rose character like that I knew of when I was reading the comics because I never played Sonic CD. So the characters that I knew of were like that were in the games, like when Heroes popped up, the only people I knew who Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails were. I knew who like Robotnik was. I just didn't know why they renamed him. And then I knew who like Vector, Charmy, and Espio were. I didn't know who Shadow was, or Amy, or Cream, or Big, or Omega. I had seen Rouge at least in the commercials for Sonic X, and I thought she looked cool.
Well, yeah, and one of the problems with that is that like when Amy was in the comics, it was in her classic form, which looks nothing like her modern form. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. There was actually, now that you mention it, I think they did have like the classic form Amy in the comics from time to time, but she was like a
yeah,
super like background character. She's just
exactly.
like crowd shots, and she's like, "Oh yay, Sonic!" And I didn't pay attention to whoever that was.
She appeared in issue 25, and then maybe a couple of times before their Sonic Adventure adaptation.
Yeah.
But
there we go.
let's see, Wham Slam Dax is saying he's asking me if I know about the King Shadow arc where he married Sally. Yes. Actually, that's another comic arc that I remember distinctly because I was like, Shadow's the best! And so that was another part of the Shadow's the best time of my life. And I thought like that like the look of Shadow with a crown on his head and a cape, I was just like, this is the best, this is the coolest. I remember drawing fan art of him in that
oh my gosh.
in that costume. And actually, I think around when that came out, we were reading the Arabian Nights in school, and we had to make like a twisted fairy tale version of it, and Sonic and the Secret Rings had come out at like the same time. And so I was like, Shadow's not in Sonic and the Secret Rings, but what if we did the King of Thieves, and Shadow is the King of Thieves? So I remember making a book that I used artwork of King Shadow to be the King of Thieves in like a Sonic and the Secret Rings tie-in that I turned in to school.
That's glorious. It sounds adorable.
Yeah, I wish I could find it because I think I included Bark the Polar Bear and Bean the Dynamite from Sonic the Fighters in there too.
Really quick, Melman9812/Jimmel98 asked, "Are you allowed to send more than one question?" If you mean about Ask the Sonic Heroes, yes, send as many as you like. Generally, the staff won't end up picking, like, all the questions from, like, one person. Like, maybe one or two of them, but whichever ones are, like, the best ones that they like the most if they happen to be collecting your question. But you can ask as many as you like. I think what they do, though, is, if they've got, like, 2 questions from you already, they'll, like, swap some out. So it won't be all of them collected, but you're allowed to ask, like, as many as you want. Just think of something creative, and hopefully the staff will collect it. And really quick, Crystal Birdie said, notice Cherry Rose Blossom, please, Sonic Song. Hello, Cherry Rose Blossom? I don't see you anywhere in the chat, but, I did see that comment from someone else, so hello. Wham Slam Dax was asking, who is the staff? I have a group of friends who I know, like, personally. I actually work for them as well. One of my jobs is doing, like, web commercials with them. I guess that's the easiest way I can explain it. Like, it's more of it's this complicated, like, thing. But basically, I work with them. That's one of the jobs that I have, to make, web commercials and things. And, they have some general YouTube experience, and I'm so busy that I can't really run the channel the way it needs to be run, like, by myself, because I do have 2 jobs, and I'm trying to, like, you know, make stuff work, figure my post-college life out, and so, my friends, they stepped in as my staff. They help a lot with the social media. They're basically like my managers. Like, I'm in charge of what the channel does, and I'm the one who makes, like, all the content and stuff, but, like, in terms of, you know, stuff like collecting questions and, like, structuring certain things, like, I've got a staff that helps me out, because in the question collecting video for Team Rose, that I put that up yesterday evening, it already has 3,000 comments, and now I do go through and add more questions from the 3,000, but I've got a staff actually that goes through the questions now to help me out with that, because it used to take Ames and I hours of both of us going together and, like, going through all the comments and collecting and accepting and rejecting and, like, you know, getting questions that would be good for the show. But now, I've got some friends with some, YouTube experience who are helping me out with that currently, so, they're helping out with, like, a lot of things, but that's who they are. But they're just kind of referred to collectively as the staff. There's, like, 3/3.5 of them, because, it's, like, 3 that do, like, a lot of, they help me out pretty routinely, and then, one of them helped out, in general the other day in our Sonic Song staff chat. But just to clarify, that's not any of the voice actors. Like, they're not involved in all that stuff. It's, boring administrative stuff. So the actors are here to perform, I'm here to create, and the staff is here to help make it all, like, work with, like, schedules and stuff, and make sure people know what's going on through the social medias. Like, I do a little bit of everything, but the staff really takes care of a lot of stuff for me, and I'm very grateful for their help.
I like to imagine the staff is always in, like, tuxedos and sunglasses. Like, and they're always just, like, typing at computers with their sunglasses on.
Yes. Really quick, is that who Cherry is? That, like, I'm seeing, like, hashtag notice Cherry. I did just see someone named Cherry in the chat, Cherry Rose Blossom, but all they keep saying is, I have a question, and if they don't ask the actual question, there's nothing I can do. So instead, like, what you guys should do if you have a question is put the question in your comment, because if we just see your name like this saying, I have a question, like, it's really hard for me to catch you again, like, even with Vinny's help. But I see, like, a bunch of people, like, hashtag Cherry, this is Cherry, notice Cherry, I see you, Cherry, and this time in all caps she says, I have a question. Cherry, ask your question.
Cherry, I have a question. What is your question?
Yes, like, then hello Noob Attack 2000. Now, it's like this whole, like, there's, like, an entire, oh my gosh. Cherry Blossom says, let's do a live stream? We are currently doing a live stream?
We're doing a live stream
we are
right
at
now,
the
Cherry.
If you mean, like,
glad you can make it.
Yay! I just happened to notice, like, the whole chat was like, notice Cherry! I'm like, what, where? Um, like I don't. Well, all she said was, "Let's do a live chat," and that's what we're doing. A live stream.
Also, that's more of a statement than a question.
Uh, yeah. If that was the question, then here we are. We're already doing it to try to cover all bases. If you've meant like a live stream somewhere else, this is the only one that we've got time for. Just the Friday live stream. Like there are other live streams I want to do on my channel for like other reasons. Like I mentioned this before. I wanted to. Hello, musical sushi. She's one of my well. She is one of the secret staff members who do work with sunglasses at the computer.
Ha.
Ah. Lauren Leave says, question for Vinny, have you ever done another Sonic character voice before?
Yeah, if you go to my channel, actually, in my little series, I voice almost every single character except Amy, who is actually voiced by my ex-girlfriend in there. But yeah, I do Sonic and Eggman, and I do my best Tails voice, which is just like me, kind of like talking like this, just like really up high. And so,
Oh
um,
my gosh.
yeah, but my Sonic voice is essentially just me, like my excited voice. That's my Sonic voice. So when I'm at work, a lot of times I end up sounding like Sonic because I'm like, "How's everybody doing today?" Just like way up and excited. But Eggman's voice is another one that I have a lot of fun with. I base it off of the voice actor that did him in the Dreamcast games, and so it's kind of fun to just be loud and obnoxious with it because it's not something I get to normally do when I do voiceover work, unless I'm doing it for myself.
Show us your Eggman voice, Vinny.
No way! I can't believe this!
Hooray!
Get a load of this! Although it takes a little bit of practice to like get fully into doing that because I have to kind of rough up my throat to make it sound like the correct amount of raspiness. So when I get ready to do Eggman, I like do a lot of Eggman before I do Eggman, if that makes sense.
Really quick. I see Cherry Rose Blossom again saying I'm talking about Sonic Song. Hello? But, oh no. This makes it real. The way the chat functions makes it really hard for me to, like, if I see a question I wanted to answer, it, like, blocks me. Okay, there it is. Jen Kien asked KN if you ever wanted to voice a male Sonic character, who would it be? I would be Knuckles! Yeah, like, I think all of you, like, most people know by now he is, like, my favorite, so if I was going to be the voice of a male Sonic character, I would voice Knuckles. I still am a bit surprised at how I don't use him that often as, like, main character in, like, bigger movies for how much I like him. I just, it never quite comes up, but that's okay. If I were to voice a guy character, I would be Knuckles. Lauren Leave said, Vinny, I can't find your YouTube channel, I forgot the name. It's, Super Nintendo 64. It's basic, yeah, like that?
Yeah, Super Nintendo 64. I'm typing it out.
Yeah, it's basically like Super Nintendo 64, one word, but instead of nin in Nintendo, it's Vin for Vintendo.
See, it's clever.
Yay! Oh, there it is. Okay, Cherry Rose Blossom wanted to know, let's do a live stream in the future with me, SonicSong. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Cherry, I wouldn't be able to do a live stream with, like, on somebody else's channel. I've only really got time to do it on my own channel, and then I wouldn't really know how to sort through requests, because I have been asked, like, that kind of thing before. I don't think that I could do it, I'm sorry. But thank you for asking.
Crash B 2007 says, Yo, Vinny, I saw the video of you messing with Distia Final Fantasy yesterday. On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird were some of the model swaps? That wasn't me. That was probably an imposter of me. There are many of them out there. That's
You have
not true, but
imposters?
yeah, probably not. But
What?
that wasn't me. I don't know what any of that means. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll say 11. It gets an 11 out of 10. Weird for me.
Was it talking about Final Fantasy Dissidia? I don't know how
Yeah,
it's
I don't.
pronounced, but it's
I,
that fighting game thing?
oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't know much about Final Fantasy. The most I know about it is from Kingdom Hearts. I played through Kingdom Hearts because, oh man, when the first Kingdom Hearts game was coming out, I had a trailer for it on some VHS tape. It was before some Disney movie,
Oh my
and
gosh. Old
they
school.
had, yeah, well, and there was like because you could summon Simba in that first game, and I was obsessed with the Lion King as a kid, and so when I saw like Simba like roaring in 3D, I was like, I have to buy this, and I didn't have a PlayStation 2, so luckily one of my neighbors did, and so I got to play through it at their house. But now I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. How did this happen?
Well, it was the closest it was the most you knew about Final Fantasy. Like,
Yes,
I was a
yes.
Final Fantasy fan, but I only ever played 7, 8, 9, and 10. Like okay, I played 4, the one with Cecil in it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I played that one too, and that was fun. The thing that annoyed me about 4, though, was that I always knew when when something was gonna happen to kill off one of your characters or like get the team separated, because every time you had a full team of 4, you knew trouble was brewing on the horizon, because it never let you have 4 without soon destroying somebody so you could have space open for a new character to join. I was like, no.
So sad.
Who's going down next? And unlike other games where you could kind of like choose who was going to be on your team and like train them up and work really hard with them, like you had zero guarantees that character was going to come back. Like my favorite character, I never got to have him back again. Like he showed up again later, but I was like, dude, I can't use him anymore. That sucked. So like you had to figure out who the game wanted you to train, like so that you could be training the correct people and not wasting your time.
um, RPG games, I like them. I'm just not very good at them. Um, and so, like, I think probably Kingdom Hearts is the closest I can get to playing an RPG that's not like Paper Mario or Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Kingdom
Um,
Hearts was a good game.
I didn't get very far in any of the Final Fantasy played. I couldn't even tell you which ones they were. But I after Kingdom Hearts, I got really into the characters from Final Fantasy VII, and I remember picking up the movie Advent Children and being very confused about what was going on.
I'm
It
not
made zero
sure,
sense.
but I think even fans of Final Fantasy VII were confused to a degree about what was going on in that movie. But I don't know. I'd have to ask Ames again because Final Fantasy VII was her favorite. She was big on Final Fantasy VII, and so like I would have to ask her if that made any sense.
It's like
And goodbye to Cherry Rose Blossom, who said bye. Thanks for answering. You're welcome. Take care. Really quick, Twilight Cosmos said, I know you don't take requests for any of the teams, and I'm sure that you've gotten questions like this before, but could I somehow be part of a team? If not, that's okay. You guys still make my day with these videos. Yeah, unfortunately, again, we really can't add team members, and especially if I know I actually have gotten a lot of requests about people wanting to see if they could add their fan character to the series and perform with us and do questions and stuff. One thing, I don't think that we the closest to a fan character on the show that we can do is just Maria Robotnik the Hedgehog, and the reason she's in the series at all is because we had all our big storyline movies that we used to do with the plushes, and we still do little videos with the plush characters, and Maria Robotnik is she was a big part of the overall storyline. And when we started Ask the Sonic Heroes, it was very much connected to the plush shows, so that's why characters like Maria were even in the show at all. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have added Maria the Hedgehog to Ask the Sonic Heroes, because it's in that weird space of being a fan character, even though it's people know who Maria is, so at least people know how to ask questions for that character, and they've seen her in a lot of our movies, so they at least know who she is. And so that kind of works, but a general fan character, the vast majority of people, they wouldn't know who they were, they wouldn't know what to ask, and that would just be opening like a floodgate. Like, I have no idea how it'd be like if I said, yeah, sure to somebody. Like, there would be like, there'd have to be like a whole nother series, like, ask the fan character such and such. Somebody else can definitely make that show if they would like. If they want to make like an ask the fan characters kind of like show, then by all means go ahead, because I know that I never can. And aside from that, if for some reason we had like a new character added to the series that was like a regular Sonic character, the way I would go about getting the voice actor for it would be, most likely I would find someone in my current cast who can do the voice, because I have a cast of 16 people. There are 16 voice actors for SonicSong182, and everybody is very talented. I could definitely find, like, you know, somebody on the team already who could do the voice. And if for some reason I couldn't, I guess I would hold, like, open auditions for it, and then it'd just be, like, 1,000 people trying out the voice. Or I would, like, scout it by, like, listening around to people's voice demos. So, it would be something like that, if that helps. I hope that answers the question. Hello, Platinum Speed! I just saw her in the chat. Platty is here. Like, in the chat at least. She says hello. Hello, Platinum. Alright.
Darth Lord 1997 was asking me what gave me the idea for the Sonic Chronological History and Rare Facts series, which is the main series on my channel. And when I started YouTube, I did stop motion videos, and my plan was to do like stop motion movies that adapted the classic games and gave them a storyline. But I realized that I was not good at stop motion, so I stopped doing that. I think I made one episode. The series was called Sonic Rewind, and then I stopped because I couldn't do any more. So I decided that for Sonic's 20th anniversary, I would do a keyframe animation, which is a lot easier way to animate. So I decided I would do that and kind of live out my dream of giving a story to the classic games. That's what I did.
Yeah, stop animation is not easy. I found out that I actually really like it. But the kind that I was doing, it was using a down shooter camera, which is a camera that faces like straight down, and I was manipulating the pieces. Like, I had these paper puppets that I made, and that's the thing that I was animating. That was one of the days I spent the night at the school's animation labs, because the project we were assigned to do was, it was like, make 10 to 15 seconds of a stop animation, and I was like, I have this great idea! And so I was making the steadfast tin soldier with these paper puppets that I made, and like, I had to make like 20 different heads for the steadfast tin soldier puppet because he had a lip sync, but everything was made by hand. And so I spent all day and all night working on that thing, and even though the assignment was like, make 10 to 15 seconds, because it's like 24 photos per second for stop animation, I made like, it was, I forget how long it was, but it was at least like a minute, maybe a minute and a half or something, and everybody was sitting there in class like, oh my gosh, you were only supposed to do 15 seconds. I'm like, but it's beautiful. I wanted to make the second half of it so bad, because I just didn't have time. I made the first half, or maybe like the first third of the Steadfast Tin Soldier story, and I wanted to make more, but I still am very fond of that like little video I made. I tended to do that, like, I always went a little bit further beyond what I was supposed to do for projects in the animation course, and so, like, at least if I could figure it out. We had to do, like, a sand animation where we draw pictures in sand. No way. That was too hard.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, that sounds way too difficult.
Oh yeah, there was someone in class, though, who was just miraculously good at it. She just did beautiful stuff. It was completely incredible. But she had experience with it. I drew, like, this, like, really badly misshapen mermaid jumping. And I was like, eh. And it was, like, 3 seconds. It was embarrassing.
Platinum Speed asks, when did you learn of the Ask the Sonic Heroes potential of Danny DeVito? Well, this
Guys,
all spawned
leave Danny DeVito alone, you two.
From when Nux did the best Danny DeVito impression I've ever heard. and she refuses to do it ever again. But
I
she
didn't
does
do
the
any
best
Danny
Danny DeVito.
DeVito voice. What are you talking about? You bunch of liars. You're gonna get people to be like, Nox, do Danny DeVito. I'm like, I don't know how. Vinny lied.
Platinum actually does a great Danny DeVito. Because we joked about it in our last session, and he just sort of she just sort of gave the best Danny DeVito I've heard someone do. It was amazing.
I think we heard a little bit of her Danny DeVito in the stream last week also.
Yeah.
It's like, every time I've got every time Platty's in the stream, for like, Danny DeVito comes up, I'm like, what? Danny DeVito is becoming like a stream joke at this point.
I've in my personal life, I've tried for so long to do a good Danny DeVito, and I absolutely cannot. It is so bad.
You did I had to cut this from the Ask the Sonic Heroes episode. Like, I had to do a lot of timing cuts. We recorded way too much content, and so I unfortunately had to make a lot of cuts. But at one point, like, Vinny went into like Morgan Freeman mode, or like I forget what the name was, but it was like from somebody named like Morgan Freewater or something. Like, I don't know what the name was, but you like went into like Morgan Freewater.
That's hilarious. I've totally forgot about that.
Yeah, just like, it was just this like small moment of just like Vinny, like, Shadow was randomly doing like Morgan Freeman's voice, and then we just went on with our lives and like, what happened there?
Aeon Hero 101 asked me if I like the Sonic 4 series. I do not. And that's actually what caused me to wait so long to continue to do the Sonic Chronological History series. There was a hiatus between episode 2 and 3 and 4, for that matter. But episodes 3 and 4 are both about Sonic 4, but I really don't like the game. So it was hard for me to kind of make a story and have it be fun, I guess.
Yeah. Also, for the record, it looks like we're having like a big lag issue at the moment because like the stream says it's like offline at the moment. I think I see that JGirl/JHeart said that it came back. But I'm not sure. Okay, I see that the stream is resuming now, so I think we're all right. It just this will be interesting for you guys who listen to the stream afterwards, so you can hear what we're all talking about, because Vinny was just saying that no, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, Sonic 4 is not my favorite.
There we go. All right, I think everything is working again. So we cool.
We cool.
Yeah, we really cool. Oh gosh, my lungs. I need to see if I can stay home from work today.
I don't mean to be laughing at your sorrow. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can laugh at my sorrow. It's all right. I have a good sense of humor about it, but I hate to be like sniffling all over all over the stream because it's kind of gross.
I've been doing the same thing. It's really cold, and I don't know why, but I just won't touch the thermostat or on a jacket. I've just kind of been sitting here shivering.
Oh no, poor thing. I've got like my heater and a sweater on to like stay warm, even though I don't. It's not like particularly cold here. I think I'm just cold because I'm not feeling very well. Michael Douglas said, "Hey Sonic Song, I love the new drawings." And Swagger Sonic who said, "Blaze is looking cool." Thank you. I'm glad you guys like her so far. I mentioned this like way earlier in the chat, but I actually drew her the same day that I drew Silver. And that version of her I really didn't like. It didn't look good, and so I did it again, and this time she looks really good, I think, so I'm happy with it. So this is the one that I kept.
Can't believe that we have famous actor Michael Douglas in our stream.
Is that an actor?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Let's see. Recently he was in Ant-Man, I believe. Let me see.
I see.
Let me see what Michael Douglas does. Michael Douglas. He was in Wall Street, I believe. I believe that was him in Wall Street. Maybe not. Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct, Ant-Man. He plays the original Ant-Man in Ant-Man.
Oh.
I'm a DC comic guy. I don't read much Marvel comics, so I'm trying.
Hello, Sherry Harden and Ninja Gaming 101. And I think actually the one who wanted to say hello to Ninja Gaming 101 was from you, Vinny, so say hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I think I saw somebody saying to say hello to Ninja Gaming 101.
Ninja Gaming 101. How's it going?
There we go, we got one. Again, there are like 71 of you guys, so we can't keep track of everything, but, you know, we try amid all the general chatting.
Yeah, and I'm over here looking at actor Michael Douglas's IMDb.
Yay. Ocean Floatzel said, Blaze looks like one of the harder characters to draw, so it makes sense that you had to draw her twice. Oh god, I'm dying.
Guys, we gotta save Nux.
Help.
She's been infected with Joker toxin.
Go away with you and your Joker. Anyway, Blaze, there's something specific about the way her face is shaped to where she is harder to draw, to where, like, there's for some reason with Blaze, there's less margin for error. Like, I can draw Silver looking like a complete derp, and it'll still look like Silver to me. But, like, if Blaze isn't drawn quite right, she doesn't look like herself. It's kind of weird, so that's what makes her difficult. There's, like, a certain way her face needs to be, like, shaped, and, like, the eye curve and things like that, to where it's, like, it's really specific for her. RPGene asked, yeah, so did I miss You saw that, Vinny? Yeah. So did I miss the Danny DeVito impression? I don't think Vinny actually did a Danny DeVito impression, but we talked about how Platty's pretty good at it.
And Nux is very good at Danny DeVito.
Sherry Harden said, please get better, Nux. I'm working on it. I've been trying to sleep it off for a couple of days. But it's still lurking around. I have to work first thing tomorrow morning, and there's no way I can get out of that, but I wonder if this evening I can not have to go, because I think I need to get my strength up for working tomorrow, because that's like all day. I work all days on the weekends.
Ninja Gaming 101 is asking, do you like eggs and bacon? I really don't like eggs very much. I don't eat them often. But bacon, however, is delicious, and I love it, and I put it on almost every meal I make.
Oh my gosh. If that was directed at both of us, I really don't eat much bacon. I'm like the opposite of Vinny, really. Like, sometimes there'll be, like, bacon, and if it's around, I'll eat it, but, like, maybe just, like, a piece or two. However, like, hard-boiled eggs, at least, is a staple of what I eat. I have, like, probably, like, one a day. If not, like, more. The thing about them is, it's quick, it's easy, and I'm so busy that anything I can, like, that's healthy that I can just grab and eat and then get along with my day is really helpful. Like, it's better than, like, you know, I can't go for, like, the cookies or the Ritz crackers or something, because, you know, they're good, but not so good for you in large quantities. And so it's just quick things that are still healthy for me. I end up gravitating towards. So hard-boiled eggs are fairly common. They're more substantial than like a snackier food, and so like there it be. Or if I'm like going to breakfast with my buddy Musical Sushi, we will often have like, we don't get to do it like that much. Usually we just do like we just go for coffee, but when we do like breakfast, it's usually pancakes with scrambled eggs and sausage and more coffee. So eggs more often for me, bacon not really so much. Saturn537 said, Nux, do you like green eggs and ham? That is a great book. I would not eat it. Oh, Max Cutie Hedgehog 2, really quick, asked, guys, who's talking? For those of you who weren't in the stream at the beginning, this is KN, the director and voice actress of Rouge and Blaze for the SonicSong182 channel, and I'm here with Super Nintendo 64, or Vinny. He is the voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog on the Sonic Song channel. So it's KN and Vinny talking to you.
It me. Hello.
Hello, it you. What were you gonna say about green eggs and ham, Vinny?
Oh, my elementary school on Dr. Seuss Day they would make green eggs and ham for lunch.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was weird. I never ate lunch at school. Like I didn't pack a lunch, but I also didn't like buy the school lunch. I would just go hungry.
Oh no!
Because I was too late. Well, because like by the time I reached the age to like make myself lunch, I would just like not do it. So
Oh no! It was a product of
and
laziness.
yeah, and my mom in elementary school, like paid for like me to get school lunch, but I never ate it. So I was just like, whatever. I'm just not.
Oh my gosh.
Which is terrible for you. Don't ever do that. You should definitely eat, guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I have trouble skipping meals. I love like to eat food just in general. I enjoy just food, like going out to eat places. It's lots of fun, but I try to stave that off, I guess, by like drinking coffee more than just like eating everything all day. For the most part, if you like look at me at any given time and you're like, "Hey, Ken, are you hungry?" Of course I am. Fortunately for me, I train 5 days a week in martial arts, which and also I go for a lot of walks and stuff, so I like stay healthy and like maintain a healthy weight for how much I like to just eat all the time. It's like my favorite thing. Just feed KN.
When I'm in like a very creative mode, I will forget to eat. And I think that's one of my biggest issues is if I start working on a project, I'll do it the whole day. I'll be working on the project the whole day. I'll look at the clock and it'll be like midnight. And then I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm pretty hungry. Should have eaten something today."
Gosh.
And then if I don't cook something at home, I end up getting like Domino's or something ridiculous that I don't need to be eating, but
Oh
I
my
end
gosh.
up eating.
Well, I guess technically that's not so uncommon, probably. I actually do, despite what I just said, I do have kind of the same problem. Like, normally, I would not forget to eat food because I like to be well fed with healthy stuff. But if I'm in the middle of like a project, oh my goodness, I will just sit there and work and my stomach will be growling. I'm like, "Stop! I'm almost done! A few more minutes! A few more minutes!" It's been like hours. I'm like, I'm so hungry, but I can't stop. I've been on the stream in that mode before.
Talking about food has made me hungry, so I'm gonna reach for this banana that I have next. Eat it.
Oh,
I'll take
fantastic.
a potato chip and
And
eat
eat
it.
it! Oh gosh. Let's see. Amy Rose said, "Oh my gosh, I missed it. I wish I could. Oh no, I'm missing it again. I wish I could draw Blaze. What program do you use? Please answer." I'm using Adobe Photoshop. That's my drawing program. I started out like when I was drawing like this picture of Blaze. I was drawing with a old and cheaper program called MX Freehand, but I don't even have access to that program anymore, so I can't draw in it. But it was like it was kind of like I couldn't freehand draw in there. Like you had to draw with line and curve tools, which is kind of ironic for a program called Adobe, that's called MX Freehand. And actually, that turned out to be the distant predecessor of Adobe Illustrator. But I think it was I don't know if they were owned by Adobe at the time. For the record, this is official Sonic art right there. I did not draw that one. This is just my reference picture so I get the colors right. That one is Old Blaze, and this one is New Blaze.
Hashtag Old Blaze, New Blaze.
Yay!
Caden Butter is asking, have we played Mario Sunshine? The GameCube was one of my favorite consoles. That was like, well, I guess that wasn't the first one I bought with my own money, but it was one of the ones that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I did have Mario Sunshine on it. I played through it once, and I went to revisit it a few years ago and got about halfway through, and I don't know why, but I stopped. But the soundtrack to that game is really fun, and I remember getting a T-shirt with the logo on it that I really
Nice.
liked. I think it was like a because I used to be subscribed to Nintendo Power, which was like Nintendo's magazine. I think it came with my subscription to that. But yeah, Mario Sunshine's fun.
Hey Vinny, I'm sorry somebody like took all your that shirt you posted on like Twitter. Like somebody took all kinds of stuff from you,
Oh
and they
yeah,
took like
yeah,
that
my
shirt that you got from like a tour that you really liked, and you can't like.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was packed to go home for Christmas because my hometown is about 4 hours away from where I am now. And before I left, I drove a half hour to my sister's house, and we went out to get dinner. And I left. I took my laptop upstairs, luckily, but I left my like bag of like clothes and I had some like nice jackets in the back seat of my car because well, another funny story is a long time ago, my dad put like he lives up at a lake and he doesn't have a dumpster up there, so he's just like, Vin, take my trash with you. And I was like, what? No. And he was like, come on, just find a dumpster and throw it in there. I was like, Dad, don't put that bag of trash in my car. It's leaking. And he's like, it's not leaking. And he
Oh
put this
no.
leaking bag of trash in my trunk. So I
Ew.
never put anything in my trunk now because it smells like garbage.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
so I had all my clothes and whatnot in my back seat, and I parked at my sister's apartment complex. And we went out to go out for dinner, and we came back an hour and a half later, and there was a hole through my window, and all my clothes were taken. So
Oh man. Yeah, that was sad to hear. You just got all your
yeah,
stuff snagged from your car.
yeah, and a lot. I mean, a lot of it's replaceable, but a lot of it was like that tour T-shirt. Band touring, and they're not doing that tour again, so I can't get that shirt again. But
Oh,
that's okay. I have a lot of
that
T-shirts.
sucks. Well, still, it's a shame. I thought your Twitter posts about it were very graceful, though. If I recall correctly, you were just saying like, "Well, it was all a bunch of old clothes, but I hope it helped somebody."
Well, yeah, because like two of the jackets that were stolen. One of them was a Patagonia jacket that I got for Christmas like 2 or 3 years ago, but it was like like a really nice down jacket. So hopefully that's going to someone that needs it and needs to be warm. So
Yeah. So it was a graceful response, but I remember I was like, "Oh man, that sucks." Because, that was like right after we did like the Ask Us Sonic Heroes recording. It was, like a couple of days later. So we were
yeah,
like,
it was.
we had just like we had just been talking. I was like, oh man, somebody stole all Vinny's stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
The really funny thing that they stole was Owen is asking me what band it was. Young the Giant. They're one of my favorite bands, and I went and saw them and got a T-shirt from them, and now it's gone. Anyway, though, I had from 2 Christmases ago, somebody got me a 3 foot tall Batman action figure, and I used to pose that in my passenger seat sometimes because I thought it was hilarious.
oh.
But that was the only thing that was in my trunk, and they opened up my trunk and took it. So they have a giant Batman action figure that smells like garbage now.
Oh no, it's so sad. What this the giant Batman? He's off to other adventures and
Oh
other
yeah.
passenger seats.
Hopefully he was washed before he was given to anyone because I'm sure he smells like garbage.
Oh man. Here we go. Let's see. I am coloring Blaze's pants. Yay! Duh. Well, I looked up and noticed Crash B 2007 saying, darn, I will try again later with that question. I think she lost it in the conversation, or is too lost in the conversation to notice. Well, I looked up at the right time to see you say that, but, now I don't know what your question was. Alright, here we go. Oh, this needs to be in a separate layer than the shoes? Okay, I think shoes need to be in the upper layer. There we go. Oh! Oh! Even higher than the torso. There we go. Let's see. Okay, well, I saw Ninja Gaming 101 when I looked up, so that question was, what are your guys' Sonic ships? For me, I partly refuse to talk about it, because, like, you know, unfortunately, it's not a conversation you can just have for fun. Sometimes in this fandom, like, people get, like, actually, like, really upset about it. And so, I don't know, like, it's not that much fun to talk about, but I think people can probably speculate on which ones my favorite ones are. Like, you know, maybe sometime I'll feel, like, comfortable enough to, like, you know, just chat about it, but what tended to happen before if I'd say anything is, like, people would get mad instead of being like, oh, that's cool, these are my favorites, they're not the same as your favorites, but, like, instead they'd be like, that's not the right one, and then they get, like, mad about it, so I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about it anymore.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
Yeah, basically. Like, you know, it seemed like a harmless question to answer, but then, like, again, people would get upset about what my answer was instead of, you know, just telling me who their favorites were instead. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to upset anybody.
I guess I'm in a similar boat. I don't really think that Sonic characters need to essentially be in a relationship. I think it just kind of works out that Amy really likes Sonic, and that's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I've got thoughts, but I also equally enjoy, like, I'm a big fluffy girl, so I like I like the romance elements in a lot of stories, like primarily like the stories that I work on that aren't on SonicSong182. They're usually either adventure stories or, like, they're kind of like romances. They're usually, like, mixed together, because I don't really like to, well, I don't know, it kind of depends. It's tough to just write, like, a straight up, like, romance, because I like there to be, like, a big adventure attached to it or something. So I really enjoy that kind of stuff, and so it comes into my work in general, like, in most regards, but, I am also equally quite happy with the idea of all the characters just being, like, friends and stuff. So, like, I'm like, cool with just about anything. Like, whatever you guys like to ship with the characters, that's cool with me. Like, something I do enjoy doing is, like, thinking about how, like, multiple versions of a relationship would work out, like, you know, all the different, like, for example, Amy ships, like, everybody, like, all the different people they like to put Amy with. I could probably make an argument for just about any ship with, like, any character, like, if I know the character well enough and I'm familiar enough with the series, and whether it's a favorite of mine or not, like, I could see just about anything happening. I am creatively flexible, which I think is why it kind of disturbs me a little bit when people get upset in the conversation and, like, a bit too protective of their favorite ship. Because instead of, like, you know, talking with other people and having a good time about, like, how such and such ship might work out, people instead will get, like, kind of offended about the ships instead. So, I don't know. It's a touchy subject for a lot of people.
I personally ship Rouge and Carl Travis Boy.
Get out of here, Vinny. Carl Travis Boy has a lot to do to earn her respect. He's gotta be cool.
Crash B 2007. It'll probably just be better if you ask the question again, because there's a lot in here.
Yeah, and we can't, like, search up. We can only see, like, this small box of questions at any given time, and, like, I need to answer, like, you know, answer questions and color some things. I've got 30 minutes to finish Blaze here. Like, I think that's enough time. I'm pretty far along with her than compared to usual, because I've got somebody here who's been with me the whole time to help me out with, like, answering questions and stuff.
Hashtag I'm the distraction.
Doing good.
George's Yons says, what's your favorite Sonic shows you like? I'd say I like both Sonic X and Sonic Boom because they are my favorite shows back on 4Kids TV and on Cartoon Network. Best shows ever. Smiley emoji. My favorite Sonic show, I think, would probably be Sonic Boom, just because it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's fun. I think it's the best written of most of the Sonic shows, especially recently. I wasn't a huge fan of Sonic X. I definitely watched it for the adventure adaptations, and I think I watched through the entire series as it aired, but it wasn't. It was never my favorite.
For me, I've got the most nostalgic attachment to Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog because that's the
Ooh,
one I
yeah.
grew up on. Like Sonic Sat AM was playing too. It's just it was at a time slot I couldn't wake up for early enough because I was too young at that point. Like my brother would wake up and see it in time and then he'd like rub it in my face like I got to see Sonic Sat AM. That's the big kid Sonic show. I'm like, shut up. I'm a big kid. Except what was it on like at 7 or 8 in the morning, and that's
Yeah.
pretty early for like I don't know. I was like 4, but Adventures came on like later in the day, so it was easy for me to catch. So like that's I guess I would need to say like it's a completely ridiculous show and like
Oh
it's
yeah.
pretty much horribly written, but I do have the most nostalgia for that one. And my favorite badniks in anything ever is Scratch and Grounder. I love them so much. They're so ridiculous and like I was really like a big fan of Scratch even though he was like a bad guy like when I was a kid. And so there was this episode that played once that was like I don't remember what it was called, but there was this TV hero guy that Scratch would watch called Edgar Eagle, and Scratch got like hit on the head and then he thought he was Edgar Eagle, so for the whole episode he was pretending to be like this heroic good guy and Sonic was like, what the heck's going on here? And then in the end Scratch like got hit in the head again and he became a bad guy again, but like I remember liking that episode a lot because Scratch got to go like on adventures the whole time. And so like I am most attached to that one, I think.
I also have fond memories of that show. Although it doesn't hold up as well for me now because I
No, not
remember
so
it
much.
got added to Netflix a few years ago, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "I want to watch like a TV show you watched as a kid," and I was like, "Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog." I remember like having VHS tapes of this, and so I put it on, and it's the backgrounds for that show. I didn't remember them being what they were, but the background paintings for that show are all. It looks like literal puke.
You
Like
know,
it
I
looks
think
like they. It's just like an orange, gross hue color, and it's not like it's not a sky. I don't. It's weird. The backgrounds for that show are very weird.
I think the backgrounds of that show are the equivalent of, knock on wood, the music for Sonic Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
It's the visual representation of the Sonic Chronicles
But
music.
I remember really liking the show because it had the same song as the intro to the Sonic games. That was like one of the things that left a lasting impression with me as a kid. I won't
Yeah.
sing it just so I don't break the stream.
No, we don't want to risk that. Um I think I've seen this one a couple times from Twilight Cosmos, but we were answering other questions at the time. This one is Nux Vinny. Have any of you heard of Afmau's My Street series? And to be honest, Nux sounds like Caitlin and Vinny sounds a bit like Travis, which are characters from the series. Have you ever heard of that, Vinny?
I have not heard of that.
Neither have I. It sounds unfamiliar. I'm not sure if that's like a YouTube show or if it's a show that's on TV at the moment. I actually don't watch much TV at all. It's very, very rare that I do. Veronica HN582 said, are you drawing with a tablet or just the mouse? I am drawing with a tablet, because I think people who can draw well with a mouse, I admire their skills. It just kind of depends on what you get used to, I think. But I do think a tablet is much more freeing in general. So, nope, I'm drawing with a tablet. Gabby1098 said, what are your favorite characters in the Sonic universe and in general? Vinny, why don't you start?
Well, I answered the favorite
Seems like
Sonic character question earlier. I guess I would say Sonic and Eggman are my two favorite Sonic characters, which sounds very basic, but that's just who I would choose. And in general, I would say Batman, Bruce Wayne, is probably my favorite fictional character of all time, just because he's a really complex and fun character.
let's see. For me, You guys all know who my favorite Sonic characters are. I think I've said that like every stream, but in case there's anyone who didn't know, it's Knuckles with a cluster of Silver, Blaze, Rouge, Sonic, and Shadow as like my number 2 spot. I can't decide. I love all of them a lot. Aside from Sonic characters though, like I do a little bit better if like I'm being asked about a specific show or something. Like Kingdom Hearts, my favorites are like Sora and Axel, and out of the Disney characters that are in Kingdom Hearts, like, or just like the regular like main Disney characters, Donald Duck is my favorite. When I watched Gravity Falls, my favorite character was Dipper. When I used to watch Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, the original one, I liked Beast Boy the best. Like, if you give me a specific show that I've watched, I can tell you a favorite. This one's come up before, but, in the Sonic series in general, when people ask who my favorite Sonic comic character was, like, if I would say Bunny Rabbit out of the characters who were exclusive to the comic, because she was really cool. But, yeah, other than that, I think it would depend on if somebody was asking me, like, a specific question. Oh, I'll do, one more. It was... but now I'm like, oh yeah, Over the Garden Wall. It's just easy to love everybody in that show, but I really liked Wirt from Over the Garden Wall. That was a great show. That's like my favorite thing.
Noisy Ninja 70 asked me who my favorite and least favorite DC hero and villains are, and I can't say Batman. If I can't go with like anyone in like the like no Gotham-based heroes, I would say Superman. I actually relate to Superman probably more than I relate to Bruce Wayne in a way, but I don't know. The character of Clark Kent is really interesting, and if someone knows how to write him well, then there's a lot of really good stories there. Max Landis did a book called American Alien last year, and it was very, very good. And that is just like a great representation of what you can do with the Superman character. My least favorite DC hero. There's a lot of really stupid DC characters. Who can come to my mind right now that I can trash?
No.
I don't know, just like a lot of like mid '90s characters. Steel. I don't like Steel very much. I guess I haven't read much about him, so I guess it's not very fair to say. Not a big fan of like Superboy. I guess there's like there's probably some good stuff in there. I just haven't read it. Favorite villain would be the Joker if I could say the Joker, but I guess we'll go with Brainiac. What they did with him in Superman the Animated Series was really cool. Least favorite villain, I don't know, maybe like Crazy Quilt or the Ten-Eyed Man. I don't know.
You clearly have extensive knowledge. I was like, who are all of those people?
Oh, yeah. I read a lot of DC comics.
This is a good thing, though. You can look for another one. I am coloring Blaze's shoes.
Let's see. My goodness. So many things are coming in at once.
Vinny, no singing. You know what happens.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No Castlevania, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to break the stream.
Oh, gosh.
No,
stop.
I can't. Sorry. It's just,
Vinny has
old habit.
a song in his soul, and he must sing it.
You know, you mentioned Teen Titans Go, and I think that show gets more hate than it deserves. I think it's funny, especially if you have like an extensive knowledge of the DC universe. They make a lot of pretty funny jokes in there. Let's see. Have you ever skipped a class in school? I was actually on my school's ASB in high school, and my position was literally to make videos. So I got to skip classes all the time to do stupid things. Like we had a math teacher named Mr. Khan, and so we made a movie called Star Trek: The Math of Khan, and
Oh
so we
my
got to skip
gosh.
class all the time to go and film Star Trek: The Math of Khan. And like we had a whole studio set up. It was pretty cool. We had a green screen and everything. So I did skip class, but it was with permission.
I think for me, the only I always liked school for the most part, and I liked to do well and like listen and stuff. The least amount of listening I did, I think, was I was in this like biology class with Ames, and we were sitting right next to each other, and we would like pass notes the whole day. We were like writing a story and passing like the note between us about like whose character was talking next. But regarding actually skipping classes, it was only once, one time, and it was because a very close friend of mine, like, something happened and she was really, really upset and she needed support, like, really bad at that particular moment. Like, I won't really go into the details about what that was about, but basically, the only reason I ever skipped class is because a very close friend of mine was, like, having, like, a really big emotional, like, meltdown moment. And I didn't just disappear out of the class either. Like, for the class I was supposed to go to, I really quick, before we brought my friend to the office to just sit with her for a little while, I went into, like, my class and I told my professor, well, the teacher, that something was going on and that, like, I'd come to class if I could, like, as soon as I can, but right now I needed to go deal with this situation. And it was the driver's ed teacher, so she said, like, okay, go ahead. And so the only time I ever skipped class was because I was taking care of a friend and I told the teacher where I was, and then we sat in the office for like the rest of the class period. So that was the only time for me.
Yeah, I guess I should put the disclaimer on there that I was doing it. The teachers knew what I was doing, and I always made up work that I missed. So I wasn't just being rebellious and going and filming a Star Trek movie.
Yeah, I think maybe they would have noticed anyway, because like the subject of your film was your math teacher, so
Yeah,
like clearly you couldn't have been doing that without like the faculty's permission. So
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
Um,
see.
Real quick, Fuzzy Fuzz asked, "Who is more edgy, Shadow or Meta Knight?"
Ooh, oh, the edge. Ow, the edge. I'm gonna go with Shadow. Um, I guess I haven't played a Kirby game in a long time, so I can't really speak too much for Meta Knight. Fight me if you dare. But
Does he really sound like
Sha-
that? Like Antonio
that's
Banderas?
that's that's what he sounded like in. Yeah, that's. I mean, to me, if I remember correctly, that's what he sounded like in Brawl.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but Shadow is very edgy. Look at his own video game. That's ow the edge.
Sugar Skulls 03 said, "Sonic Song, what do you use to record your videos? I have a channel, but I want to know what the best recorder thing is." If you mean for the live stream, I am using this program that's OBS. I forget what it stands for.
Open
Open
Broadcasting System.
Broadcast? Oh, what is it, Vinny?
Open Broadcasting System.
Open Broadcasting System. It's a free program. My brother got it set up for me. I don't know a lot about how to set these things up. Just once it's set up for me, I just don't touch it. And it seems to be working fine. But this was a free program, and it's the best one so far for streaming that I know of. But I know, like, other people use other things that are helpful. But I think OBS is a pretty common one. And if you mean about, like, filming, like, my movies, I used to have like a little video camera, but I don't anymore, so I've been filming on my iPhone. It's actually my work iPhone. It's not even like actually mine. It's my boss's phone. And for like Ask the Sonic Heroes stuff that doesn't involve any filming, I like make the art and then I put it together on Adobe Premiere. But I used to use Sony Vegas 10, which was good for me at the time, and it was cheaper. So like, it's really old by now. I'm sure there's other versions of it, but like Sony Vegas Pro 10 or like Sony Vegas Movie Studio is what I used to use, and that's what you guys saw all of the old Ask the Sonic Heroes episodes on. It's only the new ones that's been made from Premiere, and so I guess I could recommend that, I suppose. 2015.
I use
Oh, go ahead. I'll
I use
highlight that.
I use Vegas 20 or yeah Vegas Pro 11. That's what I use. So
Oh, that must be the slightly more current one.
yeah, I was gonna say it's just one generation ahead of you.
All right. 2015, the Crusher 312 said, Nux and Ames, please do my question in a video. It's for Cream the Rabbit and a team question. Just please, please. With the Ask the Sonic Heroes episodes, unfortunately, we can never promise any particular person that their question can be on the show. We do have, for the amount of questions we've had submitted, I put up that question submissions video yesterday evening, and it already has more than 3,000 questions. And as you guys noticed, we can maybe only do, 16 questions on the show for sure for each episode. I've been doing I started doing longer episodes for, since we came back, so we could do a few more questions, so it might be a little closer to, 20. I didn't really count exactly. It might be 20 to 24. But 24 questions out of 3,000 questions asked. Unfortunately, that's why we have the random selection system going. So basically, you need to ask a really creative question that gives, the character something to actually talk about that we haven't seen before, and it's kind of neat. And then my staff goes through all of those, thousands of comments, and then they pick, a handful of them that look good, and then they put them into a questions box for me. And each one of those questions has a number that's randomly assigned to it, so that when we're recording the episode, I ask the actor, pick a number 1 through something, and they pick a random number, and that is the random question they pick. Even I, in the episodes, do not know which question is about to be asked. Right before we record the episodes, I go through the question submissions video myself to add more questions to our box, but, the majority of them, I don't know what questions are in the boxes either. It's just whoever, happened to get, accepted, get their question accepted by the staff, and then you have to be lucky enough to be picked from, the random numbers lottery, in the show. So that's why I can never promise anyone in particular that their question can be asked. And 2015, the Crusher 312 followed up by saying, nice, that's cool. All right, good. I'm glad you understand that, and are cool with it. Yay. This is hard to pronounce. Inubliable99 asked if we were looking forward to the question disappeared somewhere, but I caught
to the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on PS.
Vinny?
I didn't play through many Crash games as a kid. I was a Nintendo kid, so I didn't get to play very many Crash games. I remember I ended up playing, what was that one called? Twin Sanity, I think. I played through that one, and I thought the soundtrack to that game was pretty cool. But I do like 3D platformers, and I have a PlayStation 4 now, so I might pick it up. I don't know. It looks kind of neat. It'll be kind of cool to play an HD remaster of an old game.
For me, I played, the original one. I think it was the first one on the PlayStation that there ever was. I don't remember much about it, and I never really played that much of Crash's games, so I wouldn't say that I'm looking forward to it in particular. I'm glad he's getting new games out in his franchise, because I think it's been a while. I'm not sure, though. Oh my gosh, that was hideous. But, I'm glad this old guy that I remember is getting, more games, for his franchise, so that's a good thing, especially for the people who really enjoy the Crash games and wanted to play more. I never really followed his games, though, so I'm not that familiar with, with them. But hooray for him!
I had highlighted a question from Michael Douglas because it gave me a Vietnam flashback.
No.
He asked if I liked the song "Blue" by Eiffel 65, and when that song came out, I was probably 5 or 6, and the music video for it is a bunch of blue CGI aliens kidnap the band and force them to play the song. And that music video scared the spit out of me. It was scary. It's not. If you watch it now, it's very laughable. But it was in 1999 when that came out, so the technology wasn't there yet, and the aliens just look scary and very off-putting. And so I loved the song, and then I saw the music video as a kid, and it scared me. So every time I heard the song, I got scared.
Oh no. Well, I liked the song a lot, and I don't like. I've seen the music video now, but I don't remember if I saw it when I was younger. Then again, when it first came out, I was older than you, so like
Yeah.
stuff like that can freak kids out. Like I am a teacher of some capacity currently, and like we sometimes do like these movie night things, and we showed like Spy Kids 1 at one point, and it's got like these scenes where these characters are like morphing all weird, but it was like older technology,
Oh
so it wasn't
yeah,
very smooth looking. And one of
yeah.
the kids, it scared him like really bad, and I was like, he tried to be a trooper about it. He was a pretty young kid, but he was like, quietly expressing to me like, this is scaring the daylights out of me, ma'am.
Oh
Do I
yeah.
have to watch? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's weird how like how something so like innocent in idea can be demonstrated horrifyingly.
It's that kind of, I don't know, like, I think in some ways it's an uncanny valley effect to where
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just not quite, it almost looks real, but it's just not quite there, and so it just looks really creepy and threatening.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. And I see Amy Rose in the chat again saying, I can't believe you're back. I missed you. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. I love your video. And I've repeated myself like 100 times, so if you see this, it'll mean a lot to me. Well, thank you. We did see it that time. Yay! But thank you very much. It's very nice of you to say. And I know that was like a really long time. So for people who've been watching us since like before the hiatus, man, you guys are troopers. Because like that was 4 years since you guys have heard from us. So it's I think it's really neat how long a lot of people stuck around and are still here, and then it's super cool that the voice actors are coming back in as well from that long ago. I don't think that happens a lot. Like, I'm not sure, but it seems like it's kind of rare that people stay for so long and they're just like around for later, like after like a long break. So I feel pretty lucky, and I'm very grateful for that. That's very cool that you guys are kind of still around. Let's see. This looks kind of weird. Like her tail really wouldn't be up there. I just added that because, like, here. Let me see. Vinny, you can look for. Oh wait, maybe I'll put it over here. That's less weird. She's just swishing it.
See.
There we go. There she is.
Have either of us heard of Sonic headcanons? That's being asked by Blue Gamer Cat Lady. I mean, I guess I have my own headcanon for Sonic. If that is someone's series or something, I have not heard of that.
Yep, I have not heard of a series called Sonic Headcanon myself either. But, in the general sense, I think we all have, like, Sonic-related headcanons, but, we think you mean something more specific. Well, in any case, everybody, fortunately, for once, I pretty much finished. Oh my gosh, actually, as soon as I started saying that, I started to see like flaws in the coloring, which I'm gonna fix really quick. But for once, around the 2-hour mark of the stream where we're supposed to be finishing up, I actually pretty much finished the coloring, so there's not like that whole panic at the end of me going like, oh gosh, I'm just trying to finish at the last second, and then going like overtime. And I might end up staying home from work today. I'm not sure if I will be allowed to, though. It would be nice if I could sleep a little more, because as you guys could hear, I'm really not feeling very well. And the stream, of course, I'm just like drawing and talking, but I feel pretty worn out now. So that is about the end of the 2 hours of time that we have. So Vinny and I will need to go. Let's see, because I don't have you around very much, Vinny, why don't you start saying goodbye to people, like, by name?
Sure thing. Let's see. LSSJL Orange Lightning. Farewell. Kit Kat. See you later. Hedgehog Fan 13. Bye bye. Michael Kabang Bang. See you later. Hey, he had a One Piece icon. That was pretty neat.
If you say just the names, it'll go by a little faster.
Kirby Master 200. J Girl, J Hart, Hedgehog Fan 13, Plushy Child, Caden Johnson, Ninja Gaming 101, J Drone, Amy Rose, Binary Biter, Sonic Hoodie, Atomic Litten, Vocaloid, Oreo, LeBron Moore. They're going so fast now.
I know, you
Saturn
guys feel my
537. Oh my goodness. Shadow Jake 159. Toddler Wipes. Mega 100. Scott Conlon. Darth Sonic. Gabby 1098. Aeon Hero 101. Michael Douglas. Snow Angel 8552. Pokenic 997. Shayla Anime Pokemon. Kirby Master 200. Mylu. Honeybee Queen 33. Hoo-ha! And 10-box gamer.
All right, and we've got like 15 seconds left, so Vinny, pick like about say about 5 more that you can see as they're passing by, and then I'll get us closed up.
RP Jean, Reese Murphy, Blind Wynut, Silver Shiloh, Kika 133.
All right, and thank you very much, everyone. Vinny has now experienced what the end of this stream is like. But thank you, everybody, for coming by to watch the stream today. This has been SonicSong182, the director and voice actors for Rouge and Blaze, along with Super Nintendo 64, the voice actor for Shadow. By the way, if you guys want to be informed of new stuff coming out, like when we've got like new videos coming up or any other information, we have 3 different social medias. That is the SonicSong182 Tumblr, which is just SonicSong182.tumblr.com. We also have the Facebook, which is facebook.com/SonicSong182, like that. And we have the Twitter, where some of you guys got to vote on who I was going to color today. I'll probably do another vote on the Twitter again for next week to see who I should do, but we will have to see who I haven't colored in yet, because I gotta keep it moving. In any case, thank you very much for joining us for the stream. Goodbye from SonicSong182, and one last goodbye in general from Vinny.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Hooray! Alright, take care, everybody. Have a happy rest of your Friday.